Hello. It's been a busy few days as I've been preparing for my garden outside here in Alaska, as well as for the new community plot that I just got. I've been doing a lot of seedling management, space management for all of my seedlings under the grow lights, as well as starting new seeds for that new space, for this extra space now that I've prepared, and also just because it's getting time to be starting seeds. I have been doing a lot of that kind of work over the past couple of days, and yet it still doesn't seem like enough. Something that I've been thinking about recently, some of you might know that I've been dealing with grief and a bunch of other things that are difficult to deal with. And this woman that I met quite recently, she told me something. She said, you don't get over loss, you don't get over it, you get through it. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get through it. I'm trying to get through all this work that just seems like a mountain. You know, in actuality, it probably isn't that much. It's probably very manageable, but right now it just feels all over the place. It feels a little chaotic, and that's, yeah, just maybe putting me a little bit on edge more than I normally would be. It just, yeah, my anxiety is kind of like shaking right now, just ready to go. So I'm just gonna try and get some things done. I want to also tell you about some of the things that I have been doing, some new vegetables that I've started, some flowers that I started, all of the, you know, what's going on with me with my seedling management, how some seeds that I have started in the past are doing. So I just potted up some of the perennials that I started in a recent video. I got my perennial scabiosa, Fama White, Fama Deep Blue potted up. I got all the yarrow that I started potted up. All those perennials, Shasta Daisy, Eryngium, Blue Glitter Eryngium I did. A lot of yarrow. Yeah, I think maybe that was it. I had some Belladonna mix Delphinium on there, but I only got 2 out of all the seeds that I started, and they've been potted up for quite a while. I have some basil going. This is Thai basil. I got these potted up as well. I have lemon basil, Mrs. Burns lemon basil, and I have some Genovese basil there in a big nice pot up on the plant bar. Also started here, and I sowed quite a few seeds per cell. I might even do more, and then I'll just break it up as I get more space or as I'm able to move some things to keep growing on in the hoop house. So I started cabbage. So I have a Chinese cabbage, I think called Rubicon. I have a green cabbage and a red cabbage. I'm not sure of those names. I think I'll just put it up on the screen. I got them all from Johnny Seeds. I got them maybe last year, so they aren't for this year. They might be old and not germinating all that much, so I might put in some extra seeds into there. I also started some leeks. I got a very cold hardy variety of leeks called King Richard and some celery. I wasn't planning on growing these vegetables here in my own garden. I figured I'd dedicate some more of that space to flowers. But now that I got the new plot, that's the perfect opportunity for me to grow more. I have a bunch of lettuce that I started here. I don't think you can see it. I just scattered it all about this little tray. I don't know what it came in, something from the groceries. I started some iceberg lettuce, some Vulcan lettuce, and black-seeded Simpson. What else do I have? I started some ornamental grass. I started Frosted Explosion and Feathertop grass in these packs. I did quite a bit. I might do a couple of more cells of each one. And I haven't been using the normal potting mix that I have because I noticed that a bunch of weed seeds start germinating from it, so it's not sterile. I've just been using some rehydrated coco coir. And this I know, now anything that sprouts up from these, it's gonna look like weed seeds, it's gonna look like grass, but I'll know that it's the ornamental grass and not anything unwanted, not any weeds. So some more of what I've been planting, I did some more soil blocks from that tray that I had with all the perennials that I potted up. I started some more soil blocks and I sowed some celosia, I sowed status, and I sowed strawflower, apricot strawflower. And the celosia varieties, I think Pampas Plume, and then a pink, flamingo pink, you know, it's that spike feather. It's that pretty smaller, like, spike. Yeah, and that's what I got in the soil blocks. I think I'll do a bunch more soil blocks. Actually, I think in the next couple of days, what I want to do is maybe winter sow some poppies. I don't really have enough space, so if I winter sow it, it's something that I can just keep outside in the hoop house. I think in the hoop house it'll start a little bit quicker than it would outside where it still gets colder. I'm really excited about the poppy varieties that I grew this year. I'm really excited about having it in the landscape, and yeah, just having them as cut flowers. They're gorgeous. And I haven't gotten to grow poppies before. I have grown Iceland poppies before, and I'm starting those again as well in a couple of days. But there are just so many like other beautiful varieties of poppy that I never tried, and I'm really excited to be doing so this year. I've also been potting up some of these violas. I have a bunch that are a lot bigger than this. This is the Frizzle Sizzle Mini Tapestry. And I have other varieties of violas that are a little bit more mature. I'm doing it in, I ran out of my smaller 6 cell packs, so I have these big ones. It's I think 32 per 10-20 tray. And I'm just doing 2 or 3 per cell. Because violas don't really take up a lot of space, you can really cram them in a tight space and it'll still grow pretty well until they're ready to go outside, and they will be ready to grow outside pretty soon. They're pretty cold tolerant, so they're one of the first container flowers that I'll be putting out. So yeah, I think what I'll do now is I'm just gonna continue potting up these violas. I think I might also pot up some eucalyptus that I have growing, the silver dollar eucalyptus. They're growing quite big now. They're so pretty, they're so cute. Also, like, I've been going through my seeds a lot, seeing what else I need to start. Oh, kohlrabi. Kohlrabi seeds I want to start. That's another vegetable that I didn't think I would start out here because of the space, but I think I will get going now that I have that community plot. And also, I started some lupin, perennial lupin, from seed a while ago. Not so long ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago, and they've germinated quite well. I think I am going to separate these out. The roots of lupin are very fragile, which is why I want to separate them out early. If they also get root bound within a container, they won't grow quite as big. The whole plant will just never be quite as vigorous or big as it would have been otherwise. So I'm just going to do it before I forget and let them get root bound, or, you know, let their roots get too tangled up. Just because they are so fragile, I want to do it just as easily as I could. I sowed so many seeds per cell because I didn't know if it would germinate correctly. So what you're supposed to do to germinate lupin seeds, because they have such a thick coating on their seeds, a natural coat of their seeds, you need to soak them overnight, or you need to scarify them somehow. So get something rough like sandpaper and kind of scratch the edges a little bit so that moisture can seep in. And I had the lupin seeds in water, but I don't know what overnight is. I was assuming maybe it's 8 to 10 hours. I left them for, I think, over 24 hours, just totally forgot about it. They were on the countertop, but I just wasn't paying attention. And so they were really soaked. You could see like that the coating on the seeds, like in some cases, just fully dissolved. You could see the cotyledons, which are those like initial leaves that are in the shape of the cell and just grow out. That's where all the energy is from. So I was a little bit worried that they would just rot and they were done for, but it looks like a lot of them germinated. I don't think all of them. I definitely, yeah, soaked a lot of seeds and didn't get all of them, but this is more than I expected, which is great because I do want a lot of lupin. I want to, you know, really create a lot of cottage garden areas, and lupin is really great for that. I just thought I would need to start a new batch of seeds, but it's great that I don't. So I'll get these potted up as well. And I probably have like a ton of other things. I love to write like to-do lists and organize my thoughts that way. That way I feel like, you know, it's not just this anxious mess that's like everything I need to do. It's a little bit more organized. I at least know that I will be getting it to it in the future, and that it won't be left unchecked. So maybe after I get done potting these up, I will start on that list, see if there's anything I can do right now with the space and the cell trays that I have. That is another like thing that I wasn't expecting, is for me to have run out of cell packs, because I had bought them in like bulk for me. I never thought I would need that many cell packs, but A lot of them got ruined. A lot of them got chewed up by my dog last year or the summer before that, you know, when he was still a puppy. So I think I lost more than I expected. I probably have a bunch out in my shed. Actually, I'll go ahead and look for that.
Private.